Do not forget our slogan, which is "Watch out for the tide." So we will watch out for the tidal bore. And we're from this angle to see the tidal bore, which is on the 16th of the 8th lunar month. And here we have 4 teams here. You can tell the differences by the color of their uniform. We have the bicycle team, the skateboarding team, the running team, and the roller skating team. As you can see, they're very professional. They're actually bringing some of the equipment here. And for these people, they're very professional. They have been dedicated in this kind of sport for several years. Some of them are over 70 years old. And these 2 are the guest hosts, and they will be also attending for the competition. So for myself, I'm from Chongqing. I would like to take the bicycle. And I realized one of the contestants who is above 70 years old, so I think I can be able to do that, so I would choose the bicycle team. And for me, it's okay in the running team. I think for skateboarding, the roller skating, and the bicycle, they must surpass the tidal board. But for myself, I think I would prefer running. So let's look at my legs. I think I will take part in. Please showcase your. So how tall is you? 189. I'm 168 meters, but I think the length of your legs are the same. So I think it's a challenge for me. So that's why I choose the running team to chase with the tidal boy. Do you have the confidence? Against the tidal board? So for the running, the distance is about 200 meters. How long it takes? I think 30 seconds. So what is the world record? Around 20 seconds. So for the running team, the average score for them is around 30 seconds. So you're from the Media University of Zhejiang Province. So I'm sure you must be very professional in running. Well, I'm actually coming from the university's team, and for the others, they are probably amateurs. All right, cheer up for you. Let's check out other teams. The bicycle team. So who is the one that are 70 years old? So this gentleman is actually 77 years old. He has been invested over 100,000 RMB in bicycles. So let's check out his physical condition. Even though he's 77 years old, but still he's quite fit. Actually, I have been traveling around 12,000 kilometers this year. So every year there is a team organizing such an event, which is to chase with the tidal board. I actually forget my age. I think it's quite fashionably. I really want to challenge myself. So what are the inspiration that you can get from the tidal racing? I think it's quite an interesting event. And for me, I have full confidence to chase with the tidal board. So let's cheer up for our team. Let's get ready. So now the teams are getting ready for the race. So here is the roller skating team. Actually, we have a Asian champion here. Please give us some introduction of yourself. So actually, I win one of the competition in South Korea. So I have been roller skating for 10,000 meters within 15 minutes. So probably you can calculate the speed. So do you have confidence? Can you race against the Tidal board? Sure. According to your physical condition, I can tell you're a very good athlete. So we always do practices and the drills for the training. So every day we will skate around like 500 to 1,000 meters per day. So we will follow the roller skating team. Let's get ready. I think many of you are very interested in roller skating. Let's take a closer look. Can you speed up? Now we're still waiting for the Tidal board. So maybe we can invite our contestants to showcase their capabilities. As far as we can see, we cannot identify any of the Tidal board. Maybe we can see some of the performance of our contestants. So maybe we can showcase a sprint. Just a short distance. Can you showcase a sprint? Alright, we will pick 2 male athletes to do the performance. Now they will showcase a sprint. Let's hold our breath. Actually, one of the athletes used to win the Asian championship. So he finished 10,000 meters within 15 minutes. So let's wait and see their performance. So we have a lot of security guys and also the visitors. So we just want to ensure the safety. And the police team from Haining City, they're actually coming here to ensure the safety. All right? Great. Very excellent performance. So they're also showing the gesture of victory. So every time in a competition, when they're approaching to the finishing line, so if their roller shoes, the skating shoes, touch on the finishing line, meaning that they have successfully completed the game. So when you are making the sprint, can you just give us a gesture to show the victory? So actually, not many people seeing the competition of roller skating. So for the running competition, so people have to lean forward. So what is some of the skills for you to do the roller skating? So actually, we have to pull our legs longer because we only can pass the finishing line by moving our skating shoes ahead. Thank you for introduction. So some of the viewers probably just joined our live streaming. And today we will have the tidal board racing. So here we can see the roller skating team. So they're actually racing in the gap area of Jiangling. And today we have 4 teams to do the racing. The skateboard racing team, the roller skate team, the running team, as well as the bicycle team. So there will be differences in the distance for different teams. For the roller skating team, the distance is around 300 meters. And for the skateboarding and the team, the distance is around 400 meters. And for the running team, it's about 200 meters. And the bicycle team is around 1 kilometer. And today is the 16th day of the 8th lunar calendar. That's why we think the tidal board today is quite large. And we have to calculate the time to see whether the teams can surpass the speed of the tidal board. So for the tidal board, it actually fluctuates and changes all the time. You're not sure when it is coming and what is the speed. So there are many uncertainties for the result of the game. And for this kind of events, actually we receive a lot of support for the local government. As you can see, there are many security guys here to ensure the safety. And today we are at the Haining Dam of the gap area. So we are actually choosing the most safest area for the competition. And there are around 3,900 policemen here to safeguard the safety of this area. So for these officers, they will be chasing with the team. As you can see, they have some safety ropes. And also the left vest. And none of the policemen have been professionally trained. Once there is an emergency happened, they will jump into the sea and save some of our contestants. And all of these policemen, they are geared up, and they're just standing here to show a restricted area. So the contestants will not surpass them. Thank you. You're doing very hard work today. And today we have a very strong sunlight. And they're actually facing the bank. And for the spectators, they're actually standing up on the sea wall. However, for the policemen, probably they cannot see the best part of the tidal board. But thanks to their dedication, we can have a safe contest and event. And they also secure the safety of the spectators. Let's check out some of the signs here. So these 4 logos, icons actually showing the 4 teams: skateboarding, the bicycles, and also the skateboarding. So we're just seeing some of their performance, and pretty soon you will see the best part of their performance in competition. Now we are still waiting for the tidal board, and on the far side you can see the bridge. So we're still waiting for the tidal board to come. It is unpredictable. We're not sure when the tidal board is coming. Some of the viewers may be interested. about the teams. Well, the director just told me the tidal bore is coming. Even though we are not very clear where is the tidal bore, we will change to another angle to see the tidal bore. Alright, we can see the tidal bore from the upper side of the screen. But if we are standing by the bank, we cannot see the tidal bore very clearly. So actually, if you are watching our live streaming from your mobile phone or television, you will see the tidal bore quite clearly. We're still waiting for the tidal bore to come. So we have a bird's eye view, and also we have the live streaming from different angles, from the air, the water, and the land. So if you're watching from your mobile phone and internet, actually you can see the board quite well. Now we are waiting for the board, and pretty soon we can watch the board. So many people may not be familiar with the Qiantang River tidal bore. On the right side, it is the west area. So for the Qiantang River, it is actually flow from the western side to the eastern side, and finally enter into the sea. So this is the flowing track of the Qiantang River. Let's pay close attention to the water of the Qiantang River. It flows from the west to the east. As you can see, most of the rivers in China are following this pattern. However, there were three areas which you can spot the backflow bore, and the Qiantang River is one of them, and you can witness the backflow bore. In Zhejiang Haining, and because of the shape of the gap area, it is very easy for you to spot the backflow bore. With the change of the attractive force of the selection body, and because of the shape of the gapping area, then you can see a very beautiful backflow bore in Qiantang River. And we have just mentioned that in general, the flow of the tide is from the west to the east. But in Qiantang River, it is quite different. The tide is actually flow from the east side to the west side. So that's why we also see a lot of poems that describes this spectacular scene in the Qiantang River. As we think back of those poems and verses, you can actually think of the magnificent scenery of the Qiantang River. It showcases very extraordinary momentum of the Qiantang River. This is actually the feeling from the people who actually watch the tidal bore. On the bank, you can see a great number of spectators. So most of the people, they are quite familiar in this area. They're actually gathering in the gap area of Haining. In the gap area, it is undeveloped, but still they can see a very magnificent one-line bore. In Yanguan town, the Yanguan region, even though the scenery of the board is quite good, but there are tons of people gathering here. It's very difficult to witness the board. So for the travel distance for the tidal board, it is around 5 kilometers. Now we are not sure about the speed of the tide. So we will wait and see if our 4 teams can surpass the speed of the tidal board. Probably the speed of the tidal board is very similar to the speed of the skateboard, the roller skating, and the bicycles. So maybe we can make a guess. So which team can surpass the speed of the tidal board? And for the competition, if you're riding a bicycle, the competition distance is around 1 kilometer, and for the skateboarding, the distance is around 400 meters. Now we can see the tidal board is approaching us. We are still waiting for the tidal board to come. I'm not sure if you can see the red flag here, the flags here. They're actually waving to the one direction. So before we can see the tidal board, we can actually feel the power of the tidal board. They're actually bringing the air of the East China Sea. Even though we can feel the strong wind, but we have a very sunny weather today. Pretty soon we can hear the sound of the tidal board. I believe the cameras can capture the tidal board from the land. I believe we see the tide. Alright, we will go back to the safety area. Pretty soon, the tidal racing will start. Please remember, we have 4 teams today. The skateboarding, the roller skating, the bicycle, and the running. Please give us your guess. Which team is the best?
大家刚才可能看到我的这个头上绑着一个非常可爱的一个摄像头，我不知道我们的导播现在能不能给这个画面。这是一个
Actually, I'm with a camera with my cap.
看到这边的这个画面，我需要问一下我们导演，我的摄像头画面 OK 吗？
This is sports camera. I just want to capture the best moment of our contestants. So I want to check the camera from my cap.
我们的那个技术人员需要调整一下我的摄像头啊，因为那个我的头上是戴着一个类似于
We have to make some testing and adjusting of my camera because I'm wearing a helmet which have a built-in camera because I would like to give you the best view of the tidal board racing. Now the tidal board is approaching and the security car is doing the patrolling to ensure the safety. They just want to make sure that no spectators pass the restricted area. Alright, I believe the team are ready for the tidal board racing. And today we have the competition of the tidal board racing. And so for the first team, it is the roller skating team. The tallest athlete, he used to win an Asian championship. At that time, he completed a 10,000 meter racing within 15 minutes. Let's see who's the best.
们刚才也讲到说，在我们整个的一个观潮的过程中的话，是先感受到潮水的气势。我觉得
We have just talked about when we are waiting for the tidal bore, we can actually feel or sense the power of the tidal bore.
你可以看到，可以听到，但是你可能感受不到。我真的
However, if you are watching from your television or your internet, you can just feel, you can just like hear the sound of the tidal bore, but you cannot actually feel it. If you're interested, please visit Haining City of Zhejiang Province.
5分钟以后我就到了。
There are a lot of uncertainties for waiting the tide. We're not sure when the tide will arrive. So you must be very anxious in waiting for the tide. But when we actually see the tide, you must be very excited.
潮水距离我们的距离已经只有差不多300-400。
From my angle, I think the distance between the tide and us is around 300 to 400 meters.
靠的感官只有你的耳。
It is the most fun part for us.
我们的网友
We are actually waiting for the tide.
长礁上的画面，但是我这边看过去就是一个平面。先看到
By deciding the waiting time, we can only depend on the sound of the tidal bore.
最后呢变成了一堵墙，然后才
At the beginning, you can see a portion, a section of the tidal bore. Pretty soon, you can see the one-line bore.
这个起跑的法定指令的。
And I think all of the athletes, they are getting ready, they are waiting for the tidal bore to
咱
approach.
们现在这样的一个，大家可以看到吗？通过我们摄像机画面可以看到，我们的选手正在向我们的摄像机镜头在挥手。
And from the camera, you can see
在直升机
the athletes, they are actually waving to the
我
camera.
们一会儿要跑的跑道。而其实这样的一个追潮的活动呢，并不是咱们自己
So
发明
this
的
is the
而是有一
track
个非常
for
悠
the
久的
four teams.
在古时候，从汉代就兴起
It is a long history for this tidal bore racing. In Han Dynasty, there was a tidal bore
看潮
appreciation
非
event.
常的丰富的。有的人
At that
说
time,
潮头
people
什么叫潮头
are not
呢
just
就比如大家看到
watching
现在这个
on the
潮流
tide,
越来越近了，而鱼儿感受到潮水的威力，它往往会游在潮水的前面，这叫潮头鱼。但是有些鱼呢
and some
可能因为
people
水太大，可能它想
will
奋力
check
游
the
突然就
position
到
of
了
the
岸
fish,
所以
determine
很多
whether
深
the
手小
tidal
健
bore
的
has
小
arrived.
会跑到沙滩上去捡这个潮头鱼，但是对他们来说
In the old times,
是
people will collect
因为他们要
fish
稍有不慎的话
on the
会
sand
被这个潮头
before the tide bore
当
arrive.
然没有这样活动。
They have to be very fast. They have to look out for the tidal bore.
他们追潮有的是像我刚才讲的这样的。
So back in the old times, people were very interested in this kind of tidal racing.
人定胜天
This actually originates for the fish catching
潮水来
event.
得很汹涌，苏轼说祖练长
And at that time, it actually showcased the pioneering spirit from the ancient people, because they believe for the power of the human beings, they can conquer the nature.
就要展示一下我的命运我自己做。
And for us, it is the same. We just want to compare with the tidal bore to see whether we can surpass them.
好的，那个请我们的这个驾驶员老师，我们稍微往前一点点。我们之所以要往前呢，是因为就是这边的那个
Alright, let's
教练
move
告诉我们
forward.
他们这个速度会太快了，所以他一会儿冲起来很可能会撞上我们的这个
Because we are told
所以我们
that
稍微往前了一
the
点
tidal bore is actually traveling very
看到
fast.
潮水离我们越来越近了。
We have to be
所以
careful
我们
about
刚才要
our
讲的是好，这样的这个位置
broadcast
OK 的，我们
truck.
一会儿就起步就好了，让他们超过我们没关系的。
Now the tidal bore is approaching us.
我们在一个电瓶车上，这是我们的一个直播车辆，但是刚才的这个滑轮滑的教练告诉我，很可能这个轮滑是一瞬间就会超过我的电瓶车，说让我做好思想准备，不要怕。
So we are riding on this electric bicycle, but the judges just told us that for the skateboarding team, they will surpass us very fast.
像之前
And just as I mentioned, for this kind of tidal bore racing,
住在江边上
it is actually originated in thousands of years ago. this was invented by the people who were living by the sea, by the river. Currently, we are seeing that there is an improvement for the environment, for the dam, for the dike, and a lot of young people, they are actually coming here to participate in the racing, and also at the same time, they can actually appreciate the wonders of the Qiantang River tidal board. So now we're actually at the starting point of the one-line board. We can appreciate the tidal board from the bird-eye view. I think we can see a very complete one-line board. If you are seeing from the sky, actually you can see the one-line board just like a piece of soup. This is a well-known one-line board from Haining City. And this year we have a huge accumulation of the sand. Probably the board is not as good as the previous years, but still if you are seeing it by the side, by the bank, you can still see the extraordinary momentum of the tidal board. Now the board is approaching to us, less than 50 meters. It's coming to us. It's a very huge tidal board today. As it approached to us, and can see the sound that was created by the tidal board. It's just like a military, they are marching towards us. Alright, we can see the teams, they are getting ready for the start. Let's get ready. Let's hold our breath. Let's count down. Let's go. Now the competition officially starts. For the speed, you can see it's very fast. And for the skateboarding, they're actually surpassing us very fast. Now you can actually see the fast speed of the skateboarding team. The competition distance is around 400 meters. They're actually surpassing us. Even though we are riding the electric bicycle, the speed is 30 kilometers per hour, but the skateboarding team has already surpassed us. Well, actually, we have already lost them. They have passed the finishing line very quickly. So can you feel the power of the skateboarding team? And for the roller skaters, they're actually chasing with the tidal board. They're very fast. I can tell they're well trained. Now we can see the shape of the tidal board has been changed from the one-line board from a S-shaped board. So actually we are fighting against the tidal board. It's just like life. And for bicycle, we have to conquer a lot of difficulties because you have to battle with the wind. But we're pretty sure that we can catch up with the tidal board. So I think everyone is ready. We are on the first line. I will also try my best to catch up with the tidal board. We will not give up. And we will not give up every contestant. I believe all of us can surpass the speed of the tidal board. Alright, the tide is coming. We need to get ready. We have to pay attention to the announcement of the judges. So we are the best. And for the bicycles, they are actually traveling. They will be traveling with the speed of 36 kilometers per hour. Let's see if the bicycles can surpass the speed of the tidal board and our electric bikes. So we're actually 200 meters ahead of the bicycles. But we can see for these professional cyclists, they're actually shortening the distance between us as well as the tide. And most of you have been riding the bicycle. As you know that at the starting point, the bicycle will not travel very fast, but it will accelerate in the later section. Let's see if they will accelerate. When we are watching the bicycle, please pay attention to our journalist, the lady of the team. So you can see she's actually working to her utmost effort. And we can see the team has been surpassing our journalist. Let's see if they can surpass the speed of the tidal board. Alright, they have passing the tide, and they're about to surpassing our electric bikes. We will see you at the finishing line. We can see 3 athletes is about to pass our electric bike. So at a 500-meter point, most of them have surpassed the tidal board. So maybe you have noticed that the man who is 77 years old, he's also passing us right now. So actually he's doing a training every day, a 50 kilometers training. Be careful. Congratulations. Please wave to us. And for the roller skating, they have passing the tidal board easily, and also as the bicycle team. In the last 300 meters, all of them passed the tidal board. And for the tidal board, they have been in a position of a constant change. As we can just see that in the racing of the roller skating, the tidal board actually changed its shape to S shape. And also, when the bicycle team passed the finishing line, also we can hear the great sound that produced by the tidal board. And naturally for the tidal board, it also travels very long distance, just like the bicycles. Now we will see the third racing, which is the skateboarding racing. They're about to start the competition. The distance is around 300 meters. And the road is quite bumpy. We are not sure whether the skateboarders can do their best. Right now, their start. You can see the man in red who's leading the team. Let's check out their gestures. Actually, in some of the social apps, you can see the sport of skateboarding is very popular. Maybe we can add some background music for them. They're very relaxed. Maybe you can see the capability of each contestant is quite different. And for the leader, he's actually in line with the speed of the tidal board. Well, pretty soon we can actually see the crossboard, if you can see it from a bird's eye view. It's just like the board is actually crossing the T-shaped area. Alright, they have passed the finishing line. So the guy in white and the guy in red, they actually passed the finishing line at the same time. Now we have already seen the competition from 3 teams: the roller skating team, the skateboarding team, and the cycling team. For the roller skating team, they passed the tidal board very easily. Even our electric bikes cannot catch up with them. And for the cycling team, they had catch up with the tide in the last 300 meters sprint. And for the skateboarding team, they are actually in line with the speed of the tidal board. Maybe we can ask some of the questions. The guy in red must know what is the speed of him. That actually represents the speed of the tidal board. Now we will have the 4th team to do the racing, which is the running team. So we have to be careful about the time. For the speed of the tide, actually it changes a lot. Now we can see the speed of the tide is accelerating. We have to accelerate as well. So we have to catch up with the tide. Alright, we can see the runners, they're ready. Ren Qiuyu, the journalist from our team, he's also ready for the running. So now we come to last racing. Let's go. Oh, you can see they're running very fast, just like an arrow. Now we can see the tide is actually a little bit faster than the running team. So they actually spare no efforts to catch up with the tidal board, but still we can feel the tide is a little bit faster. Let's cheer up for them. Actually, the leader actually surpassed the tide. Most of them actually surpassed the tide. So the last one is our journalist. So maybe you can make some interviews with your team members. So because the tidal board is coming very fast, we don't have time to do the interview. But now I can introduce our team. So we are the running team. So we are the team of long legs. So I'm the last. Alright, I'm not as good as you. Let's check out our team members. All of them are coming from the Media University of Zhejiang Province, and 3 of them they are in the major of dancing. And also we have 1 professional athlete And this gentleman is from the basketball team. Actually, he's number 1 of our team. So I think you are 15 meters ahead of the tide. Such an excellent performance. Well, I'm very good at basketball, so I can start at a very fast speed, but at a later stage, I actually slow down. So this one is professional. Well, at the beginning, I don't think I run very fast, but I think the speed of the tidal board is quite fast. So when I see the tidal board, I can feel their speed. It's actually just coming to us. And for these 3, they're actually in the major of dancing. I believe all of you have put on your makeup at 5 a.m. So how do you feel about the racing? We feel very nervous when we see the tidal board coming to us. Well, we just see the tidal board from the textbook. We have never come here to see the board in person. And it is our first time to watch the board. And we feel very excited to see the board in person. Thank you all for participating in the racing. So we're actually racing for survival and better life. All right, let's go back to the journalists. Yes, and today is the tidal board racing game. And pretty much exhausted in attending the competition. So at the beginning, we want to just give more shots of Miss Huang Li, but I really want to give more shots to her. And when I'm introducing the game, I'm saying that, well, let's find out where is Huang Li, because she's quite slow. I cannot find her. So for the bicycle racing, the distance is around 1 kilometer. So just after half point, I was pretty much tore out. I don't have enough strength to do it, to make it to the end. And for our professional teams, they're quite good. At the beginning, they're just saying that maybe lady first, I will be the first. But I really don't want to drag their legs. I'm quite slow. And for our team members, they're actually surpassing the speed of the tidal board. I'm not sure about the tidal board, but definitely I cannot catch up with the tide. I'm pretty much exhausted. And just as what they said at the beginning of the race, they're saying that we will not give up every member. So even though you are exhausted, you don't have any strength, we will cheer up for them and to help them to make it to the end. For the cycling, it's not just a sport, it's a showcase of a team spirit and cooperation. For chasing, with the tidal board, we're actually chasing the momentum of the tidal board. We just want to challenge ourselves and defeat ourselves. Actually, I think Huang Li is able to catch up with the tidal board, but she is quite frustrated and she's not that confident. So when we make it to the finishing line, we have to wait for Huang Li. I have full confidence in Huang Li, even though this time she failed, but you have to believe in yourself. Yes, believe in yourself and you will success. And this time you fail, but if you have another chance, you can actually conquer the speed of the tidal board. And with this racing competition, actually, we can feel the spirit of Zhejiang Province, which is a pioneering spirit. Look at me. And I have to once again emphasize the slogan of the competition, which is "Watch out for the tide." Now let's look at another team. The roller skating team. And for this contestant, number 2, actually he used to win a champion in South Korea. So the distance for them is around 400 meters. So I think we have surpassed the tidal board quite fast. So the competing distance is around 400 meters, but you must be around like 200 meters ahead of the tidal board. It is our first time to chase with the tidal board. So what is your average speed? So what is your estimation of your speed? So probably around 30 kilometers per hour. So maybe we can take it as a reference. For the roller skating team, they have surpassed the board at a very early stage. And for himself, his estimation is that 30 kilometers per hour. So maybe we can check the speed of the tidal board to see which one is faster. So in general, if we will run a 42 kilometers racing, it takes me around 1 hour. So please remember, the speed from the roller skate is around 42 kilometers per hour. Now we see the results right now. So do not tell us the speed of the tidal board. So now we can see the result of the cycling team. For the cycling team, the speed around 36 kilometers per hour. So what is the fastest speed? I think it's around 45 kilometers per hour. Because at the beginning, we are actually accelerating in order to catch up with the speed. Well, maybe we are waiting for a lady. But in average, our speed is around 40 kilometers per hour. And for the roller skating, the average speed is around 42 kilometers per hour. However, for the cycling team, they're actually waiting for our female journalist. That's why they slow down a little bit. So maybe tomorrow you can try again. So this time, because of the waiting, the cycling team's average score is around 36 kilometers per hour. And for the roller skating team, the average speed is 42 kilometers per hour. So we also have the result of the running team.
I
would like to repeat the results of the teams. And today we have the tidal board racing competition. Let's check out the tide. And we have just seen the tidal board. We have 4 teams completed the racing with the tidal board, which is the skateboarding team, the roller skate team, and the bicycle team and the running team. And for the roller skating team, they are the fastest. And the speed is 42 kilometers per hour. And the second team is the cycling team. On average, their speed is also around 42 kilometers per hour, but today, because of waiting for our journalists, the speed is around 36 kilometers per hour. And now I also have the score of the running team. The average speed is 22.7 kilometers per hour. Actually, we are removing the score of our journalist because he's quite slow. Well, our journalist is the last, but we have removed the score of our journalist. And the average speed of the running team is around 22.7 kilometers per hour. And all of the contestants of the running team, they have surpassed the speed of the tidal board. So they're 5 or 6 meters ahead of the tidal board. So according to these results, maybe you can take a guess of the speed of the tidal board. Now we are still waiting for the results from the skateboarding team. We have just received the score for the skateboarding team. So the average speed is 16.67 kilometers per hour. So I would like to repeat all the scores for each team, and then you can make a guess of the actual speed of the tidal board. So for the skateboarding, the speed is 16.67 kilometers per hour, the roller skating team 42 kilometers per hour, and the running is around 22 kilometers per hour, and the bicycle is 36 kilometers per hour. Alright, I would like to announce the actual speed of the tidal board. It is the 16.95 kilometers per hour. It is actually quite difficult for our skateboarding team because the road is quite bumpy, and for their score, they are actually very close to the speed of the tidal board. And we have just talked about there were a lot of uncertainties about the tidal board. In the running track, the speed of the tidal board is 20.8 kilometers per hour. And for the cycling track, actually the speed of the tidal board is 25 kilometers per hour. It feels like if we are faster and the tidal board is also accelerating. So when the cycling is accelerating, we can also see acceleration of the speed of the tidal board. And for the skateboarding, even though they're relatively slower, and also we can see a slower speed for the tidal board. So for the speed of the tidal board, when it competes with the skateboarding, the speed is only 16.9 kilometers per hour, but it comes to the running track, the speed will increase to 20.8 kilometers per hour. So we can see a lot of uncertainties about the tidal board. So here, these are the judges of today's racing. How are you feeling? So we can feel the speed of the tidal field, and we feel very excited that when we see our contestants passing the tidal board. Because of the road condition, I understand that the skateboarding team, we also see a slowing down of the tidal board. How do you feel? I think it is of great significance when racing with the tidal board. In the future, I also encourage all of you to participate in this kind of sports. Thank you so much for your introduction. Now we can see the skateboarding team is coming to us. Pretty soon we will have an award ceremony. And today we have a lot of fun activities to race with the tidal board. So for the speed of the tide, the slowest speed is 16.9 kilometers per hour, and the fastest speed is 22 kilometers per hour. So actually, for watching the tide, it can be dated back to Han Dynasty, and in Song Dynasty, people started to race against the tide. And at that time, people invented a sport which is to catch fish before the tide is coming. So once again, let's check out the Jiangling Dam. And on the banking area, we can see a great number of spectators here to watch the racing. And also we have a park in this area. So in this period of time, tens of thousands of people will visit the dike park in order to watch the tidal board. And we have a lot of plantations by the side of the tidal area because we all want to organize a series of activities. All right, now let's go back to the award ceremony. So we are announcing the result of the running competition. So for the running team, they have successfully surpassed the speed of the tide. Now I would like to announce the score of the skateboarding. So for the skateboarding, the result is 16.67 kilometers per hour, and the actual speed of the tide is 16.95 kilometers per hour. But still, you deliver very good performance. Congratulations to all of you. Next, I would like to announce the result of the champion team. So the team is the roller skating team. The score is 42 kilometers per hour. And today we are gathering at the Qiantang River and organize this racing. And among the four teams, 3 teams have surpassed the speed of the tidal board. Congratulations to all of you. But I also want to show my gratitude to the skateboarding team, because for the skateboarding itself, it is quite difficult, and also for the road condition, it's not very well. It is quite bumpy. But still, the speed of the skateboarding team is very close to the speed of the tidal board. We will also want to present a trophy to the skateboarding team. Now, showtime for the skateboarding team. Just give us some stunts.
带音效。什么叫自带音效？哇哦，这个叫什么？这个叫什么？什么意思？什么意思？
我只知道这个叫防晒泡泡小黑头，我也不知道它什么意思。
哇，很腼腆但很帅。再来一个，再来一个，再来一个。
One more.
哇哦，很酷！来，请我们的工作人员颁奖好吗？
Very cool. Right now is the award ceremony time. Let's present the trophy to the skateboarding team.
首先
Let's invite the journalists to present the trophy to our team.
一个一个来，一个一个来。
谢谢。
这是弄茶奖杯啊，弄茶也代表了
Nice。
好沉啊，沉天给我沉。
好，自行车队。
哎，不是我的话，真的他们就拿第一。
The trophy is quite heavy. So, if it is not because of the waiting of the journalists, probably the cycling team will be the best. But at least we have surpassed the speed of the Tidal board.
但是我们的目标是保一争二，保倒数第一，争倒数第二，所以说我们做到了，来，成功了。
So, for our goal is that we want to be number one in ourselves.
好，接下来下一个我们的。
So she is a very professional runner.
冠军队。
So next, let's present our award, the trophy, to our champion team.
谢谢。嗨，朝我看，朝他们看，朝钱塘江看。
来，我们所有的参赛选手。
So at last, let's shout out our slogan of this racing.
参赛选手们都过来好吗？
So let's all gather together.
在我们过来的过程中，我想跟大家说一下，请我们的航拍老师也可以配合我们一下。大家真的非常不容易，这是一个有着千年传承的老习俗，它同时也是因为咱们这边的环境越来越好。
So for this event, it has thousands of years of tradition, and we have a better life and better environment right now. So we have developed a series of activities.
16公里每小时。
And I think this time we have a speed of 25 kilometers per hour for the Tidal board.
导演，我们已经P了一个，请那个后期老师给我们上一个图，焦虑。大家看过那个什么香蕉吗？香蕉。
So for our producers, for these days, he's actually very anxious. In the end, we want to shout out our slogans in the end.
准备啊，来，3、2、1。
Let's shout out together. Watch out for the tide and race.
拜拜拜拜。
See you next time.
18都还有哦，不要换台，不要换平台。
Stay tuned, we will have more activities coming up in the next few days.